Hi everyone,
And as always, we encourage you to turn on your cameras so we can see
and
you.
say hi to everyone. Yeah, we have a special guest today and a special occasion today because today is my birthday. Cameron, thank you so much for making this such a beautiful gift for me because our live sessions is somewhat that I really love, and I was excited to that like your speech will take place on my birthday. So I'm super excited, guys, to see you. And all right, so I will, as usual, for those of you who joins our sessions, you know how it works. When I give a quick introduction, I will ask you, thank you for birthday wishes. I will ask you to put in the chat your name, where are you joining us from, and your profession, right? I want to figure out how many photographers will be today and other professions, planners, floral designers, makeup artists, etc. Hi, Shana. All right, so welcome again to our live session for our amazing Wet Vibes community, global, international, and we have amazing guests from, let's say, New Zealand and Europe, and we'll introduce Cameron in a minute. So, you know, guys, that at Wet Vibes, one of our big missions is to grow wedding talents and discover wedding talents to the world. And those live sessions we use as a, let's say, honest discussions of behind the scenes of the professions and what you can do to drive your business and to connect with right couples and sometimes even fine-tune your portfolio, fine-tune your skills, and also get some great insights what you can apply right away. So yeah, thank you guys for posting your location and names. Yeah, Cameron, I told you there are a
Excited.
lot of fans of your work. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys. Also put in chat of those and say some kind words to Cameron. And with that, I will pass over to Daria. Daria will introduce Cameron, his project Lensel, and then we will start.
Yes, hello, everyone. I've just been reading all of your comments. Hello from like all around the world. And yes, let me introduce Cameron. Cameron is one of the duo, the part of the duo. He and his wife Julia, right? The established photographer, luxury photographers. They have their own brand, Hot Weddings, like haute couture, right? So this
Yep.
was the idea behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, and they like image makers inspired by romance and timeless aesthetics. And we know that their work been published all around the world and been featured in magazines like Tatler, like Vogue, and like having this established brand for like he also created this blog Lensel that I know all of you know and love. Me myself, I've been watching his reels for quite some time, and he's the great educator, the great storyteller that gives all of these amazing ideas for photographers. But today we're gonna spread it out for all the wedding professionals about how to actually establish your brand, how to raise your brand to become this part of the luxury upscale market, which I know all of you actually want to do this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for creating all this beautiful deck, this beautiful presentation, and we can't wait to, yeah, to get some of your wisdom, to pick up your brain.
Thank you. Yeah, that's super cool and super nice of all those things. And yeah, crazy to see everyone from all over the world joining in. Like this is something a little bit new for me, doing a session on Zoom, and yeah, crazy that we can talk like this all over the world. And I mean, I can even see I even saw Kate all the way from New Zealand. So hey, Kate, nice to see you. I can't believe you're here at 6 a.m. So good job.
It's a
Um,
dedication. Yeah.
yeah, dedication.
So, Kate,
And
if you
yeah,
have a
well,
question, you will be first to ask because you are from New Zealand. So there is a little bit of credit we give you. All right.
yeah, of course. And yeah, Kate, we haven't met yet, but we'll have to hang out when we come back to New Zealand at some point. But yeah, no, thanks for the intro. Yeah, my name's Cameron. I'm from New Zealand. And yeah, now I live here in Germany. And yeah, I have this brand Alt Weddings alongside my wife. And I guess I can talk a little bit about my photography career so far. So I've been a wedding photographer for 11 years, I think it is. And I started my wedding photography career in New Zealand. And I first had another brand actually called Chase Wild. And then when me and my wife decided that we would work together, we decided to create a new brand, and that's called Alt Weddings. And uh, we wanted to actually do something a little bit different and new and bring something a bit fresh to, I guess, the wedding industry at the time. And we wanted to, we knew we wanted to shoot weddings in Europe. And so we really slowly started creating our new brand, All Weddings, and did a few intentional things, I guess, to start that off and to really build it. And so I guess, we started shooting in New Zealand, and then slowly moving over to Europe. And I guess a couple of things about, if many of you might not have been to New Zealand, it's so far away, you might have only heard a few things about it. But one thing that I think is quite interesting to note is that wedding markets are actually quite similar in all the different countries that I've been in and shot in, and quite small. And there's, I think, things that you can do to break into a wedding market in terms of like connecting with vendors and putting together styled shoots, and using those as platforms to really bring different parts of the industry together. And that was one of the things that we did really intentionally starting Aut over here. We knew we wanted to be editorial and to position ourselves as luxury. And so we really intentionally connected with other vendors who were in a certain vibe that we really liked. And we tried to, just connect with them, be friends with them, to do shoots with them, to do anything we could to sort of help them out and slowly work our way into the industry, specifically here in Germany, but where I'm based now, but all Europe wide. And so it's been interesting doing that in New Zealand to begin with, and then also here in Germany and in Europe. And I think that it's something, you can kind of do in every market, is really, be intentional about where you want to be in the market and connect with other people and make friends with them and try to work with them, offer them value. So that was, I guess, a little bit about starting fresh in Europe, and feel free to jump in with any questions at any point. I forgot to say that at the start. At any point you want to ask any questions, feel free to chuck them in the chat, and we can talk through that. And so, what I want to talk about now, I guess, is Lensel, something that some of you guys might have seen, and a page that I started maybe, was it about 4 months ago? And I started making these little videos, and I've been super surprised by, I guess, the response. I wanted to make something and bring, I guess, a resource for wedding photographers specifically, but also the wedding industry, maybe a little bit wider, and try to bring some kind of fresh perspectives and some insights from someone who's been, working the last 10 years as it's been my full-time job, day in, day out, in the industry. And try and bring some not contrary opinions, but just some fresh ideas and some fresh things and some fresh ways of seeing things. And so I started posting these little reels. Of course, with doing online content, you make a little hook to get people interested. And so sometimes, you say something that not everyone is going to agree with, but that kind of gives you a little bit of a platform to be able to say some other things. And so it's been interesting to find a balance between saying things simply so that people can interpret it in certain kinds of ways, but also saying things that are like really valuable and that people in the know will really know that I know what I'm talking about. So if you know what I mean, we're kind of leaving space for people to disagree, but also giving real value. And I think that when it comes to short content, it's kind of a good mix. Some people might say that you're just, what's the line? Kind of just like putting a hook out there for people to jump into. But I think that that's a good way of thinking about it. We've got this Instagram that's going, and the main thing that I really wanted to start was to start a newsletter as a resource to be able to talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on in the wedding photography world. And so the newsletter is designed to, I guess, be the news for wedding photographers. And so it's going to come out once a week. I hope to eventually do a little bit more than that. But to talk about something interesting in a deeper way, and also just to like bullet point a bunch of news that's interesting to people. And then eventually we are about to release a website, which is more of an in-depth blog. yeah, where
I
we
mean,
can
this
talk about.
strategy has been working, 4 months and almost 50K followers. And it's just all done organically through Reels, I'm sure, because I've seen your statistics. I mean, you have the hundreds of thousands of views. So this
Yeah,
is yeah.
yeah, it was
super.
crazy. Some of the reels went quite viral, which, is partly due to the, say something a little bit controversial. So
Yeah.
it is, sadly, it's a strategy that works, but I think that there's a balance in how you can do it on saying something like a little bit controversial. I mean, maybe it's interesting to you guys, but I made one of the first ones that went mega viral was the one on Flash.
Mhm.
And like I wrote the script originally, and in the actual video that I posted, I say at the start that natural light is dead or natural light is over. I'm like, welcome to the Flash era. Natural light is dead. And in the original script, if I said something different, because like, of course, natural light is not dead, and shooting in natural light is, that's 95% of what photographers do and will continue to do. Of course not. But saying it in that kind of sensationalized way caused, I don't know, hundreds and thousands of people to comment on it.
Yeah, of course.
And to talk about it. And all I wanted to do, was raise this idea of like, we're kind of coming into a Flash era where people are using Flash in this interesting, direct Flash 90s fashion inspired kind of way. And so, yeah, it's kind of an interesting point that saying something in that kind of way works.
Yeah, because
That's
being
great
a
because the
developer-
universe pushed you into the insight how you should wrap up the content,
Yeah, we're
saying it.
giving away all the secrets here.
Yeah.
Yeah, given the fresh perspective.
Yeah, so I guess in general, wanted to talk a little bit about like what it means to build a luxury portfolio. That was kind of the title of the talk, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this whole thing in the wedding industry, especially here in Europe, of like the luxury look. And it's a villa on Lake Como. It's
I mean, this is like such a, iconic landscape here.
totally like Villa Balbiano, like that's the look. It's the big white florals and the super long train and the tuxedo and the all white everything. And it's even the fonts. It's the Vogue font or a variation of it that everyone uses in their branding. It's everyone's websites looking the same. It's everyone using the same buzzwords when it comes to a luxury photographer featured in Vogue and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's this luxury look in the wedding industry, and it's kind of unfortunate that it's all the same, and we have everyone trying to build a luxury brand or trying to place themselves in this kind of thing, in this kind of like echelon of weddings. And it's like, yeah, of course everyone wants to be there, like, being involved in luxury weddings, shooting them, doing the florals, or planning them, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever kind of vendor you are. Of course we want to be in that echelon of weddings, but it's like, if you're not there, how do you get into it? How do you, create a portfolio that can place you into that kind of echelon? And so it's kind of on that question of, how do you stand out? How do you get there when everything looks the same? And if you were to just do more of the same, are you really going to be served by that? Are you really going to be able to build a brand by doing that? And so I'm kind of here today to say, I guess, that you don't want to do that. Like, if you want to do something that stands out, you want to do something that's creative and original. And I think that is true luxury, like that. That will eventually get you in there into that echelon of doing things if you do things a little bit different. Because I think that the luxury client, yes, they do want some of those same kind of things, but the true luxury client actually wants something a little bit different. They want something personalized. They want something that's special for them. That's not just had by the masses. And I think, this luxury look, it's getting to that point where it's had by the masses. And so what can we do to stand out? And I loved this quote from Rick Rubin, who's like a bit of a creativity guru. He's a musician. That's his like outlet, but he says this, he says, creativity is not about forcing ideas, but having an antenna to receive ideas and then filtering them through your own perspective to make them your own. And so I loved this idea of this two kind of thoughts in that quote of antennas and filters. And the whole idea of an antenna is like what's on top of a radio or on top of a TV that receives information. And we're not about forcing creative ideas out there. We're about, we receive things, we consume things, we see things, we watch things, and we see what's going on around there. And then we're filtering that through the lens of us. Like we are the filters, you are the filter when it comes to your creativity. It's not, you're not regurgitating an idea or copying something. It's all being filtered through you and who you are and your unique perspective. And yeah, thinking through your creativity, thinking through your brand, thinking through your photography, it's good to think through, yeah, what's my antenna receiving and what's it getting filtered through when it's coming to me. And another kind of analogy or way to see that is to take control of your creative diet. So yeah, with your antenna, like what are you receiving? With your creative diet, it's a bit the same as your food diet. People always say you are what you eat. You are your creativity is what you consume. You make what you consume. And so if you're just consuming all the same stuff in the same little circle of the industry with all the same fonts and all the same photos and all the same flowers and all the same styles, guess what? Like your work, your photography, whatever it is going to look the same. And so being intentional about having other voices, tuning your antennas in, we're going a lot of analogies here, to other things. That's your creative diet, and that's going to help you express something truly different. And I guess there's one more quote that I wanted to talk about, because I think satisfaction in the creative industry, and I think all the wedding vendors, whatever it is you do, is creative, and we eventually in the long term need to be creatively satisfied. We want to make something authentic and something that's ourselves. And so this guy, Alex Soth, he's an amazing street photographer. Actually, he's not doing weddings, but he's amazing. If you want to see some like really iconic photography, he's actually a magnum photographer. He says that there are a variety of ways to make a reputation, but the only satisfying way is to make work that is both exceptional and authentic. So something that's different and something that's true to yourself. And so, I guess it sounds simple, but I think that it's really important for longevity in the industry as well. The idea, I guess, to wrap all of that up into a simple two kind of words is, when you think about luxury, I want you guys to think about remixing it. This idea of remixing kind of sums all of that up together. And the image that's behind it is by some amazing photographers called Danilo and Sharon. And I think they have risen to like a really amazing point in the industry because they remix ideas. They're remixing on the luxury wedding industry in their own way. And so even in this image, it's a Chanel necklace stuck on top of like a headless marble statue, and they used flash on it. It's bringing in a few different ideas. It's still in that luxury thing, it's a Chanel necklace, whatever. But it's, bringing a different perspective to it. They're remixing it, which I think is something super cool, and it's been amazing for them. They've stood out, and that they're killing it, which is awesome. Another kind of example of someone who's, you know, remixing in the luxury world is this brand. And I said this even wrong in the reel that I made about these guys. I think I said Yakumus or something, and I think I got corrected by like 75 people telling me that my French pronunciation was really terrible.
Another life, like how to drive engagement. Make a mistake and everyone will correct you, but Instagram loves that because everything sounded. So
Exactly.
first, say something controversial. Second, make a mistake where everyone is an expert how to pronounce Jacques
Yep.
or Hugo Boss.
Exactly.
I will be.
Maybe that's what
I
this talk is
will go
actually
viral
about.
with my accent. Okay, go ahead.
Can people not see the presentation? Sorry,
Yeah,
Kate.
I see the comment from Kate. Is anyone else doesn't see the presentation? Because we're sharing the deck. So if it's just Kate, maybe you can try and just exit and just try it again.
Re-enter, yeah, because
everyone can see it. Yeah, can you re-enter? So because it should be seen for everyone.
Seems like other people can see it, so that's good.
Okay.
And it's Danilo and Sharon. You guys should check them out. They're really cool. Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool to see the different comments. But yeah, I actually, to be honest, I didn't mean to say that word wrong, and my wife told me that I pronounced it wrong, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave it in there because it will work. Yeah, but I feel like these tricks soon are not going to work. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I'm scared to say it now. How are we gonna say it? Jacquemus.
Jacquemus.
Do we have French people here?
That'll make it work.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. I will try to repeat it after you. Jacquemus.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
No matter how you
Jacquemus.
pronounce that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jacquemus. Okay.
You know
Someone
this
says
is French.
Jacquemus.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I think that they have done an amazing job of breaking into the luxury world. And I think they, you know, if you're wanting to build a brand in the luxury space, I think that they're an amazing case study right now. You know, they did something that everyone else has done, like all the other luxury houses, you know, handbags and clothing. But the way that they remixed that whole industry, I think, is amazing, you know, with marketing, like what you can see on the screen, like, you know, larger than life installations, which were made with AI, but it, you know, it's more the idea, and just their whole content style has been super cool. So like, yeah, look to them for some inspiration. I mean, even in the way that their photography. I did a little video about a wedding campaign that they did, you know, not totally something new that has never been done before, but you know, it's really current right now, and the way that they kind of all put it together, I think, really stands out. And yeah, it's really, really cool. Yeah, then wanted to talk about, I guess, a couple of other ideas which I think can really help you stand out in the luxury space. And that's using physical products. I guess it's on a similar theme to Yakumu, and you know, doing something a little bit different. Like those images really stand out and are really unique, and you can kind of do the same with a physical product yourself for whatever kind of brand that you have in the wedding industry. For me, one of the things that I've been thinking about and putting together at the moment for my brand Ort is a wedding album. And I've done wedding albums in the past and used, you know, the same suppliers that everybody else used, and did the same, you know, leather cover or cloth cover with, you know, the couple's name in the middle, and maybe you do a little bit of cool design. But at the end of the day, it was a product, an album that looked just the same as everybody else's. And so I did this reel talking about and showing off some examples of some different wedding albums, you know, with an acrylic cover or a cutout, or it's something that's really concepted. And I think that, yeah, something like this really helps to build your brand. In this kind of like online age that we have, where most of our, you know, brand building, one of the public facing points is our Instagram and website. If you even just to have photos of a physical product helps you stand out. I think it really helps people to really connect with your brand in a really different way. And I think that, yeah, putting something unique together, if you're a planner, to gift to clients, even if, you know, a florist or a makeup artist or whatever, having something that yeah, your clients can have in their home, that they can post on the Instagram, that you can show off, really helps to elevate and helps people connect yeah, with your brand in a really unique and new way. And then the other kind of pillar that I wanted to talk about
Can
is
I
just
just chime in real quick? Guys,
Sure.
I would ask you to post in the chat if you do have some physical assets of your brand, and if you do, if you won't mind to tell us what. Because for photographers, maybe it's a photo book or maybe something else. So if you like, I really want to exchange your opinions, just your tools. So if you like, feel free to post it in the chat. Maybe some others can also get inspired with what you're doing. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it'd be awesome to see if I don't know, what are some ideas that come to mind? Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, things like candles or different things that people can gift, you know, but what's something even different and more different than that? Maybe someone's doing something or has some ideas.
Because we
Or-
also will totally benefit out of the ideas, because we right now we are creating the set for bad vibes, right? Of the physical assets. So let's open up some
We will pick up
creative
some of your
session.
ideas. Yeah, we
Okay,
need some
just
ideas.
drop what you do. I think it will be very like insightful exchange. Okay.
Totally.
Yeah,
No,
let's
no
talk
gatekeeping
about
here. No gatekeeping.
Wedding. Who remembers this wedding? This like I think it's just the wedding of the century nowadays, right? It's the Egyptian wedding. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sure many of you, I mean, I've seen so many TikToks and reels behind the scenes from the guest perspective, from the like the vendor's perspective. Just raise a hand or yeah, put like a plus or a heart in the chat. Who knows this wedding? Okay. Okay, Cameron. Yeah.
Who knows this wedding? I mean, yeah. I guess the question that comes to mind when you say that everyone's seen it is why. And I think one of the reasons is because I actually had a call with the Bottega 53 guys, the photographers who shot the wedding, and they kind of gave me a bit of insight into the planning that went into the content for this wedding. And so for them as photographers, and I think it was actually not just them as photographers, it was the planners and everyone, they put together this huge planner on this wedding because they knew it would be amazing as to the content that they would produce that would go out into the world. And so that's why there's been so much content about this wedding. And I think that's actually an amazing thing for, you know, to really stand out in the luxury world. Again, like luxury clients want to feel like they're getting something that no one else is getting, that you know, something that's really unique and really personalized to them. That's the other point on the physical products. Personalizing them is something amazing as well. But yeah, content and producing something around the wedding that's more than just like the professional photos nowadays, like I think can really elevate. I mean, yeah, if you're a photographer producing that kind of content yourself, like we can see like the rise of content creators already. It's not that necessarily that yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing. I think it's really cool for the industry, but I think that it shows that I think other wedding vendors could up their game in terms of the content that they make on the side and what that offers to the couple. So I just thought, yeah, this wedding was a really interesting example within the luxury space of, you know, what maybe some clients actually want, and maybe there's something that people can offer in terms of content, in terms of PR, because, you know, I think for a lot of people in that, you know, size of weddings, like that's what they want. They want it to be seen. They want it to go everywhere. They want it to be this big thing. And yeah.
Of course, they invested so much money. It's sort of like we call it the hidden agenda. So they want to be like published in the magazine. They want to be get viral on social media. So they seek this attention. I mean, they did it. I mean, they created this unique thing, right? So they looking for some exposure. And you
Totally. And a lot of what the content was this behind the scenes kind of stuff. and showing the process of things, and like, you know, even my little video about it showing the process, some of the process of mood boarding and planning, you know, and thinking about logistics and stuff like that. I think that's really interesting, and is maybe like, yeah, part of our product as wedding vendors. I don't know if it necessarily has to be the content creator on the side who will do that, and that's their product. Like, why can't we kind of do that as well, other vendors, and especially photographers.
Yeah.
Um,
If you didn't see this video, go to the Lensel world page and check it out.
let me know what you think. But don't tell me how to pronounce things, so because that's just a trap. Yeah, so quickly, I guess, yeah, feel free to jump in with any questions. If you guys can see any, feel free to like read them out. But I'll just talk through a couple of different other ideas, I guess, on standing out, on doing something different, on remixing this whole world of the luxury wedding thing. And one of the things that you guys actually asked me about before was photographers and storytelling, and how you know, maybe a lot of the stuff that we see, especially in the editorial luxury kind of realm, I guess, of wedding photography, is the lack of storytelling, and how maybe it's just like often, you know, a few of the key shots, you know, like one standard portrait with the couple in the middle, or, you know, the ceremony shot or the walking down the aisle shot. And actually, one of the things I think that's been lost in the whole you know, move towards luxury editorial stuff in photography is the basics of storytelling. And one of the things that I love to think about in every scene that I turn up to at a wedding, is a little bit displayed on the next slide if you want to click over to it, is this whole idea of turning up to each scene and shooting things wide, medium, and close. And so you can see in the middle, it's kind of covered, but as a wide shot, on the top is medium, and on the bottom is a close shot. And even just this simple framework of turning up to every scene and seeing it like that and shooting like that is a really good storytelling technique and storytelling thing for our brains. Like, every movie does this, almost every scene. You know, it's not always wide, medium, close. It might chop up the order, but our brain wants context. You know, that's the wide. Our brain wants the medium to show the subject, and then our brain wants to see the interaction or the emotion, you know. The image here is by some photographers called the Pharaohs, who are like amazing, and I think actually still really influential in the wedding world, for wedding photographers. They don't like have a huge account, but so like every photographer I know knows them and loves them. So you should check them out for like really, really cool storytelling. They do this wide, medium, close thing all the time and really well. And then I guess another part of the storytelling, which goes a little bit deeper, and I think can really help you stand out, is trying to build tension and release into your work. This is more specifically, I guess, for wedding photographers, but like stories that really like help us to feel something. They have a question, they have some tension, they have some drama to it. They have, you know, something goes wrong and then we have to fix it, or then we, you know, come back to the resolution, and like that framework feels really good. And so it's like, how can you bring that storytelling element into a wedding day and into your images? How can you, you know, show some, you know, not everything is perfect and all right at the start of the day, and then, you know, bring that to a resolution with the ceremony and the kiss and all these amazing moments that happen later. That's one of the cool things I think about, you know, telling the story of the morning. I had made a little video again about this, highlighting the whole thing of anticipation. I think on a wedding day, we can really highlight anticipation and all of the planning and all of the waiting and, you know, the nervousness. And, you know, maybe it's not just showing the bride's like super perfect portrait sitting on the end of her bed, putting her Jimmy Choos on. You know, maybe it's like also showing the moments where she's a bit nervous and, you know, her mum has to give her a hug because she's like, you know, having a half, you know, nervous, you know, breakdown. And then, you know, bringing that into, you know, resolution with like, yeah, the kiss or these amazing moments that go later on. I think that that's a really powerful thing that people connect with. And yeah, I think the whole luxury world is not just about, you know, the 5 perfect images. It also is about connecting with emotion and connecting with the stories that happen on a wedding day. And yeah, I feel like luxury vendors should show more of that kind of side of things, because that's something I think that people really connect with. And I do think that we're going to see a swing back to that in terms of like general wedding trends. Like I think more documentary style photography is going to come back in. And so, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about this in my own work for this like coming season. Like, how can I merge these two worlds of, yeah, more documentary stuff into this like more editorial luxury vibe?
And I just want to chime in. So if like the reels being on the rise for the couple last couple of years, right? Because like the Instagram is constantly competing with TikTok, and it's all about emotions. And so we see kind of like the same engagement from the beautiful decorations or beautiful floral installations, like you said, like with a lake, comma landscape. Sometimes we can see like the photo or the video of like the emotions of the beautiful toast, like the speech given by the guests, like by the father or like the grandparents. It just sometimes it works better in terms of engagement and reach than all the beauty, because it's all about the raw emotions and in the end of the day. So
Totally.
it's definitely, especially with reels, like as a platform, as an organic platform, I would say on Instagram, yes, it definitely works better.
Totally. Yeah, maybe this whole move, like with TikTok and like raw content doing better, is like showing us wedding vendors like what's really connecting with, you know, this, you know, new generation coming as well. But yeah, showing what's really connecting. And yeah, breaking into that whole world. Maybe you don't need to just, yeah, copy all the picture perfect things that everybody else does. Maybe you can really stand out by connecting with some of more of that stuff. It's quite interesting.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, again, just different, you know, bringing in different things and different ideas into your wedding photography, like really mixing up your angles and frames, and yeah, trying like find some inspo of like a really different angle. Like maybe it's shooting from below, maybe it's shooting from above, and like trying to bring these as themes into your work as a way to stand out and to do something different. Yeah, or like I've been quite inspired recently by like these kinds of frames here where the couple's not always like standing right next to each other. Maybe they're standing apart, one's in the distance. Something a little bit different. What are some different kind of angles that, you know, you might be able to be inspired by? And in terms of frames, like even, you know, just choosing to shoot with a different kind of lens. So like maybe you want to shoot like most of your portraits on a super wide lens at like f11 aperture, and do something different to what everyone else is doing. Like when everyone else is shooting, sorry, this is technical photography chat, but everyone else is shooting 1.4, getting like the background really blurry and, you know, making the couple really pop. When everyone else is doing that, why don't like do something the opposite, shoot at a high aperture and like, you know, get everything in focus and, you know, stand out in that kind of way. So I think that's quite yeah, an interesting thought. And then the same goes, I guess, for posing as well. Different posing ideas. Like I think that yeah, I think that this whole documentary thing is going to come in as well. Like, and we're going to see the mix a little bit between, yeah, really editorial kind of stuff, like what's behind there. But done, yeah, keep like people are going to keep pushing it, keep like doing new sort of things, and then incorporating this more documentary style of posing as well. Yeah, where couples might just be doing something a little bit more natural. And so I do think that we're going to have yeah, those two extremes. Like we're trying not to pose, And then when we do pose, we're really doing it like, to the next level kind of thing. We're really posing. We're really strong posing. So I think that's kind of interesting. But it's all on this whole theme and thread of doing something different, of remixing it. And so I guess the last point that I wanted to leave in terms of thinking about luxury wedding photography or luxury, the luxury wedding world is to be different and be yourself and bring your filter and bring your own kind of style to what you're doing, and not just like be a part of the luxury look, which is kind of just everywhere.
Copycat of luxury look.
Totally.
Don't be a copycat. So Cameron, I have a couple points before we will dive into the section of Q&A that I wanted maybe like let's say start discussion or maybe elaborate a little bit. Because normally in Wed Vibes, we say that we really want to, let's say, elevate the wedding industry, because if you think about fashion, it's always trying something new, right? It's always some hype. And even if we talk about angles or even the poses, I think that a lot of them like fashion driven, right? You get inspo from fashion industry because it's a lot of more like rebel and stand out than weddings when there is a white dress. Everything is like perfectly set and following by the golden rules. So my question to you, maybe you can a little bit more elaborate on angles and also poses. Like if we talk about fashion, is there some other industries or even maybe it's in fashion where you really have like the source of inspo for yourself to stand out? Because we normally talk about movies, right? Because movies, if you watch them not from the consumer perspective, but from the artistic perspective, you can also grab some ideas how to capture the moment. I'm not talking only about photographers, it's way more, it's all the artists who create these stories. So maybe you can a little bit more elaborate on the source of inspiration.
Yeah. I think one that like I've always been inspired by, and I think will sort of come back a little bit more, is like actually street photography and like this whole documentary photography, which is a little bit when I first started my career as a wedding photographer, like I think there was that was a little bit more in trend at that time, and we've kind of swung away from that. But I think we'll see it moving back towards like street photography. Actually, that guy that I made that quote from, Alex Soth, is actually an amazing street photographer. So you could definitely look him up. He shoots with using like matching colors or contrasting colors in his frame at the same time as having like different layers and different depth in his frame. And I think that that whole thing of like different layers is like a really cool source of inspiration. Like you can easily remix like a really classic, like the couple in the middle kissing, and then you can add some other layers in, like, I don't know, stupid thought comes to the head, like a bottle, someone holds a bottle of champagne into it, or holds a bag into it, or some shoes, or adds an extra layer into your frame that just remixes the otherwise like standard shot. And that's something, I guess, inspired by that guy's work, Alex Soth, and by street photography, because people are always trying to, in street photography, they shoot a lot of landscape images, and they're always trying to fill the frame at different levels. And
they're trying to catch the moment, but still so it will just kind of combine all the different worlds in one. So they just
and I think what they're trying to do in that is in one image tell more of a story as well. And so maybe that's kind of a thing, like instead of just taking a photo of the thing that's there, like that flower arrangement, like how can you tell a little bit more of the story? Like maybe it's incorporating the grandma bending over, like checking it out and freaking out about how cool the flowers are, and then meanwhile something else is happening, like a more of a documentary story that still shows the flowers, still shows how amazing it is, how beautiful it is, but like adds a few more kind of things in. And I think that checking out some other photographers that are in that kind of world can help with some inspo.
Yeah, I love this idea. I heard it from like the different photographer that if you're checking out like the street style photographer, you can actually take one picture, divide it, kind of like slice it by your frames, and you will have the whole story tell just with one picture.
Yeah, I love that. That's really cool.
So,
Oh yeah, cool. Some good recommendations coming in the chat as well for other street photographers.
we will screenshot it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I believe with that, right, Cameron, we are moving to the Q&A, or there is some more you want to add?
Oh yeah, like any questions, go for
All right.
it.
So guys, the floor is yours. We have around like 10-15 minutes for your questions. And as always, we encourage you to raise your hand, to turn on your camera and mic and ask questions.
We'll have
Who wanna
the
go first? Because we did have some questions in the chat, but that's easy to drop the question in the chat, but we really want to utilize our session to connect and to give you some voice. So guys, even if you don't know how to raise a hand, that's fine. Drop in the chat that you have a question and we will like and turn on your mic.
Is there a raise your hand thing? Is there?
Guys, all right. So yeah, Daniela, thank you. There is always someone should volunteer. All right.
I'll ask the question.
Alright.
Hi, how are you? It's so nice to be here and great chat. I did ask my question way up there in the chat, but I am curious because you have your Lensel and then you have your hot photography. Do you use the same kind of marketing technique for your photography business where you're like trying to get a reaction? Right now, I'm trying to build my Instagram, but I'm a little bit nervous to like create too much of a divide or, you know, do something too extreme for my marketing. So I'm just curious what you do or if you do anything differently for both of those.
Yeah, great question. Thanks for jumping on. Am I able to see people's like screen when they come on or?
Wait a second. Can you see people right now?
Oh, now I can see people. That's nice.
Yeah, if you
One,
turn on the camera, you can see people. Yeah.
I was just looking at just you guys the whole time. But yeah, no, that's a great question. Like I definitely don't use that in my marketing for like for the weddings. It's definitely been something that was intentional to do, like to start the Lensel thing. I think, yeah, I'm no super expert on different content and marketing, but I think one of the guiding principles is to really think about who you want to reach. And with Lensel, I definitely wanted to reach more people, obviously. With Ort and the marketing that we do, I definitely only want to reach the right people. Like I don't need to reach too many people. But I definitely think that you can create content that is going to attract your the clients that you want. And so I would just work backwards from that kind of perspective. I think you can still make the short form videos and you can talk about subjects and I think you can even be controversial, but I think at the end of the day, you want the opinion that you're presenting, you want that to resonate with your, desired client. I think you could piss people off or say something that people don't agree with. And they just don't follow you and they might leave a mean comment or block you or do whatever. Who cares? Like that wasn't going to be your client anyway. And yeah, so I think you definitely can make controversial content and still, get the right people. There was one of the things I had to learn pretty quickly when the stuff went viral. It was quite confronting and interesting to have people, like so many people commenting and having like negative comments. Like I actually really helped me to respect content creators, people who put out content all the time and who might be even especially controversial content creators. Well, like what they sort of deal with it's not trivial, like having hundreds of people say negative comments or just having that much stuff every day on your phone, like in your pocket, is quite a crazy thing. And so doing this process has definitely made me like respect people who make content. It's no joke. Like it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. And anyway, side comment.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
psychological strengths.
Yeah. So is
Okay.
anyone else wants to raise their
There
hand?
is, I think there is Luli, right? If I pronounce your name correct, you drop in the chat that you have a question. So just go ahead, turn on your mic. Are you here? And I believe that you can read your question.
No.
Luli, I want to know how to deal. Are you here? All right. Natalia, are you here? Do you want to ask your question that you put in the chat, Natalia Reznik? Okay, so someone else. Okay, City Lux Studios. Do you want to ask your questions direct to him? All right, so do you want, it's a live session, we have 100 people watching, so do you want to ask your question? Because it's kind of hard to scroll down, I don't know, can you just, no?
I saw this question and Alex.
Oh yeah, there is one, yeah, there is, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Cameron. So
Hey.
happy to finally meet
Hey.
you. My name is Ha. I'm from Paris.
Nice to meet you.
You know,
Love-
we
So
love your work.
I appreciate it. So I can't miss today. So I love whole photo for a long time ago, and now with Lensel, thank you so much for bringing a new fresh perspective into the industry and help us to be more inspired with all the perspective and different story that you share. But like utterly myself as a mother, as an entrepreneur, for freelance photographer, sometimes I feel so overwhelming with all the contents that like pour out this industry in on Instagram every day. So as someone that have a limit of time, being a photographer, being creative and a mother, so I don't know, like everyone here can share your how to say your source on how you can balance your life being a creative and also be productive as well, maybe having a VA to help you, or yeah.
Yeah, great question. And yeah, super nice to meet you and see your face and see see the
Let's
person
see you
behind the work.
finally.
Yeah, great question. And I don't know if I'm any big expert to be able to answer that question with some kind of like, silver bullet solution. I think that it's that balance between, trying to strive to do something new and creative and balancing our life. I think that we all, especially creative people, struggle with that, and I don't think that there's any real solution. I think that, obviously there's small things that can help with time management and these kinds of things, but I think that maybe it's even just helpful knowing that all the rest of us and almost everybody has these same kinds of struggles and problems. And like right now, we think, we look online and we see people creating content and doing all this stuff, and we think that people are so productive. Oh my gosh, they can work from 8 in the morning until 6 at night, and they take 1 hour for lunch, and the rest of the time they're just working and creating content and doing this stuff. But I can't do that. What's wrong with me? Do I need something? I think actually that's not the reality. We all struggle with time management, with the, being productive, with, flows of feeling, confident and creative, and then other times feeling not so much, creative and confident. And so, yeah, maybe it's just something nice to know that other people also struggle with that. And when you're not feeling it at a certain time, it's kind of okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good answer, but yeah, I've heard VAs are amazing. I've never tried that, but would be cool.
I should try to.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Natalia. You just asked about my question. Hi, Cameron. Hi, Daria. Hi, Alina. That's very nice to see you all, and that's a really great talk. And yeah, so my question would be, I completely agree with Cameron that we should do something different, but my question is how to find where to publish such a work, because, all the blogs, all the magazines, they have such a format, and they accept the projects which which are in match with this format. So when I sent something very different, I got an answer, it's not our format, sorry, it's nice, but it's not for us. So
Yeah.
what do you suggest in such a case?
Yeah. I think it's interesting, like wedding blogs and being featured and, you know, that whole world of things, because I think that it is really a good thing for especially photographers to try and do. Like, I think it really does add credibility, it gives reach to your work and all these kinds of things. But I think the thing to notice about it, like after being in the industry for, I mean, not too long, but 10 years, I've actually seen quite a few different blogs come and go, or, you know, rise to being super popular, and, you know, and then maybe, you know, waning off a little bit, and then some new ones come. And so my initial like reaction maybe to your question would just be to say, like, there's probably always, you know, a new kind of blog that's on the rise, that's up and coming, that might take your work and, you know, might be the new kind of cool one for a little while, and might, you know, resonate with your new ideas a little bit more than maybe an established one that does have a format and does have a style and is, you know, set with their aesthetic. Yeah, because, you know, I see it from the point of view of also the blogs, like they want to continue, you know, create like their aesthetic, what they're known for and what people follow them for. And so, yeah, you don't need to take it personally when they don't take your work. You might need to keep trolling the internet and seeing what's going on and seeing what new kind of blogs or things might want to take your work. Yeah.
I want to build on. I know that Daria, maybe like you love to elaborate on that, but being a blog ourselves,
Yeah, of
even
course.
though we
Yeah, go for it.
style, like I think that also a question addressed like to us, because we are
Yeah,
behind the
totally.
scenes, and that we are the people who take decisions. And we also, let's say, guys, we're always pretty honest, and every blog also competes for the audience and for the attention, and it's like in our interest not to copy and paste same weddings. So even though we have our style and aesthetics, I'm totally with you, and I believe Daria will build on, because we don't want same weddings with the same luxury font and luxury style. It's like a baseline for sure. But if anyone will submit something different, of course, it should be like well done, very professional job, but which looks different and which like will help us to connect with audience, because audience for us is the main asset, right? We don't sell our services, but we work for the audience, and we want people love us and inspired by us. So that's why we always also on the lookout of something fresh, new, and which helps us to stand out, if you know what I mean, right? So I believe we are very much similar in terms of what Cameron talked about today. Using these golden rules of the industry, but trying to do some extra 10% more. I don't know, maybe Daria, you totally can maybe give some more examples, or just to add something.
No, the same. I've just been listening to Camera and I've been thinking, okay, so we also trying to follow the rules, and we're trying to disrupt the market. We're trying to sometimes make deliberate mistakes, or sometimes, like, for example, I'm not a big follower of the traditions in the wedding. I mean, because like why the bride should wear the white dress? It's just 200-year tradition, or why should she wear the veil, or etc., etc. So sometimes we try to play with artificial intelligence, and we get like most of the comments, and I mean some of them are like kind of like they disagree with us, but I know what you kind of do try to do, and we try to do the same thing. And I totally agree that sometimes if you try to show it from this different perspective, try to disrupt the market, it will definitely be picked up by someone, maybe not by Vogue, but by the blogs on the rise. And we constantly we like the industry is just been reinventing itself. Every couple of years we see the new blogs, the new players, right? And yeah, and they they bring the new perspective, the new angle. That's what I love about it. So yeah. Maybe
Yeah, okay,
Cameron
so
will
we
tell
have,
your story in his blog because he's influencer like himself this day.
yeah,
we'll
and yeah, if you capture his attention, you will totally get a great exposure. So I think that we can take, Cameron, if you won't mind, one more question, and just
Yeah.
who will be the first to jump into the conversation?
Hello, my
That's-
name is Angie.
Hey.
I am a destination wedding photographer based in San Francisco. I specialize mostly in film photography. I have been following your work, Lensel, for since you first started. I absolutely love how you've challenged the wedding industry, and also you've definitely made me feel like I can be part of a community where I can see myself growing in as well, because you highlight so many different elements. And aside from that, I had a question for you. I recently also just started following your newsletter. I would love to know what inspired you to start your brand, and where do you see yourself going with it? Like, what are like your goals?
Yeah, thank you. That's so like such nice feedback, and yeah, really special to hear. So thank you. What inspired me to start the brand? Actually, like to be honest, like after being a wedding photographer 10 years, like I've been at different points like quite like disillusioned, I guess, as a wedding photographer, and not like feeling like, yeah, I could really express myself or do something different, or yeah, develop my career in the wedding photography industry. And so I guess it was born out of a desire to do that, I guess, to develop my career in the wedding photography industry, to have bigger conversations, philosophical conversations about weddings and photography, and to connect with more people, and yeah, just to be able to talk about interesting ideas. And so I think that was probably like, yeah, the main thing. And I think also just to keep making this might sound weird, but to keep making the world of wedding photography bigger, to contribute something to it, to start the news for wedding photographers, to start, yeah. I think my end kind of goal and vision is for it to be, yeah, a big community and online space for wedding photographers to be a part of, and to feel at home, to be inspired and educated, and to connect with each other, and yeah, to feel, yeah, a part of the world of wedding photography, and to grow it. So I am yeah, planning to eventually launch an online community at some point in the future. I guess similar to this, with calls to be able to connect and inspire around photography, the newsletter, I will likely do more like premium content, more in-depth content, and yeah, have some chats with some people to build it into a bit more of a team at the moment, and yeah, to really grow it. Yeah, and I hope it can keep pushing wedding photographers and the wedding industry to be different, and to keep getting better, I guess.
That's totally our mission.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And yeah.
Nice to meet you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think that was the last question. And if you won't mind, Cameron, maybe guys, if you have some unanswered question, maybe you can just pass over to Cameron, and if he will be so kind,
Totally. Yeah.
kind to you, or maybe you will use it in inspo for your another reel or the
Yeah, you
newsletter.
might find yourself on a reel.
Yeah, for example. And thank you so much. And yeah, again, like so many things has been told about this upscale portfolio, but the way you did that, really, I appreciate it a lot, because besides talking about the golden rules, you kind of made this 10% how to think about from different angles. And this is super great. And I'm so grateful for you to join us today. And I see that there were a lot of reactions, comments, and discussions in the chat. That means that the topic and what you were talking, the points, resonated. So yeah, don't hold yourself, and just put some kind words to Cameron to the chat. Or
Yeah,
you can
and
click
if
there.
you don't, the Alex just dropped the Cameron's Instagram for Lensel World. I just
Yeah,
followed.
drive some engagement.
Sign up
So
for the
you post some kind comment, like, and then ask a question. Give first.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Thank you, guys. Thanks for
Okay, thank you.
it was nice to hang out with you guys. So yeah, feel
Yeah.
free to connect with me online. I'll definitely be in touch. Like I do read the DMs, so
But
Yeah.
don't forget to like his post and put a good comment. And I want to remind you that tomorrow on Thursday, we are meeting for the webinar with us, with me and Daria and Alex, and we will talk about some mistakes that you make or to avoid, to raise your prices, to increase your prices. And yeah, portfolio will be part of them. Totally. So I hope that you will join us tomorrow for this discussion. Cameron, you're also welcome to join. And thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank you, Cameron, for finding time and for giving Alina's present for her birthday.
yeah, have a
Yeah,
great rest
and
of
then
the day.
making the yeah.
This was
The last-
amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Take care.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a good day.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.